Okay, moving into this week of the new year, we've got this beautiful card coming forward to support us this week, the Water Pig, being in the flow. And as I shared in the card pull, this card had just come up in an Aquarius new moon card pull I was doing for someone from the Empowerment Pack. And each person's getting their own personal 5 elements card this lunation, along with their personal tarot energy that came forward with our 5-card spread. So this is the card that came forward, and then that energy, of course, is now underscored here for us collectively here as the Water Pig. The Water Pig is a double yin water pillar, so it highlights the depth of the soul. Water element invites us to look at our darkest side. The deeper we dive into the self, the more conscious we become of our hidden fears and anxieties. There's wisdom waiting to emerge from underneath the fears, once awareness has brought them to light. The pig, a yin water sign and a travel star, moves quickly, but can get bogged down by her own insecurities and self-doubts. A higher consciousness enables the versatile pig to enter a state of flow. This is a card of movement and change. Go with the flow instead of resisting the inevitable. You have within you the abilities to move through change with ease once you get past your own barriers. The more aware you are of the obstacles facing you, the easier and quicker the process. Your dreams are closer than you think when the Water Pig appears. The only obstacles standing in your way are your own fears. It's time to bring them into consciousness so you can see your vision clearly and listen to the quiet voice of wisdom without getting drowned by the voice of your inner critic. You will only have to take a small step out of your comfort zone to realize that your fears are what have been keeping you constrained. Take that step forward. Great change can happen in an instant once you get into flow. I resonate so much with this message. It brought to mind for me when I was sharing it with the one individual, some situations that I moved through a couple of months ago, it was in November actually, where I actually shared this in the card polls the following week, that I had like some anxiety that I was moving through. This was over, I believe it was Thanksgiving, that I had like this anxiety attack, and it was unusual for me. And it was triggered by a confrontation, a situation that I was confronted with, and I was like really knocked off of my kilter. You know, I was really sent into a tizzy about something that, as I look back on it now, I just feel I can see how I have grown by leaps and bounds, you know, and how if that situation were to represent itself now, I would handle it very differently. And that it came from, triggered for me some old wounding that again has to do with worrying about what other people think or how they feel, or anticipating their feelings, and, you know, really projecting into that and having an opportunity to come face to face with that and like a discomfort with any source of confrontation. And now I can see the lessons that brought through, and how perfect is that as we talk about this Chiron energy with the North Node and our wounds and the scars that we carry, actually being a source of great light, of healing, of wisdom that we can now impart to others. If I knew then what I know now, right? But the reason I know what I know now is because I had that experience from the level of consciousness that I received it, if that makes sense to you. So I'm really feeling this energy of taking a look at some of those hidden fears and anxieties and what's really behind them, and where do they come from anyway, you know? And maybe a little, what's the worst that could happen? ... right? Finishing that sentence, because the ego and the mind can whip us up into a real frenzy where we, you know, create these hypotheticals that really are not serving us and are rather detached from reality when it really comes down to it. So, you know, however that can show up for you, you know, this is just really highlighting, it's so perfect with the Midnight Indigo, light in the dark. So, you know, these are those dark nights of the soul, those shadow aspects, those times where things can feel really all overwhelming and all encompassing, or very dark, or we're really unclear on where to from here. And we're going to talk about that with the Thursday energy, how we are growing. This is perfect, actually, that 5 of Pentacles. So we'll talk about that. Along with the water pig comes a message from heaven and a message from earth. This is card 60. So it carries the vibration of the number 6, which is perfect because it's balance and harmony. It's bringing harmony and harmonizing 2 aspects, heaven and earth, right? Bringing in this balance. So from the heaven message, it says, see yourself looking into a still, clear lake with your dreams reflected in the water. What fear is blocking you from manifesting those dreams? Can you release that fear to make your dreams a reality? The message from Earth says, the pig is a symbol of change. Anticipate and get ready. When the time comes, you trust your instinct and let the flow carry you forward. So there is an aspect of trust here and really being aligned with the timing, and again, it asks us to see how it feels in the body. And in order to really be anchored into how we're feeling, we need to come into the body to be grounded. So once again, we're brought back to this idea of having this opportunity to get grounded, to really feel into, how we are receiving those energies as an indicator, rather than getting swept up in the fears, worries, anxieties, which instantly bring us into the head, where analysis paralysis can occur, where it can snowball into something that is, again, very far from reality. So I love looking ahead at our cards, kicking it right off with the King of Swords coming right up, because he's definitely very level and got it clear as far as balancing the head and the heart. So this is a perfect segue for us to launch into our week ahead messages. So let's take a look.